In this video, we add an executable-based application to Intune and deploy it to a Windows client. Hello everyone, I'm Travis and this is Seraltos. In this video, we convert an EXE application install file to a format Intune can use and deploy the application to a Windows client. Before that, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for new content. That helps others discover this channel. Check out my courses on Azure Virtual Desktop, Windows 365 with Intune Management, and hybrid identities with Windows AD and Azure AD, now Entra ID. Links are below. Sign up for my newsletter while you're at it. And thank you, channel members. Your support is appreciated. In my previous video, we uploaded an MSI package to Intune and deployed it to a client. That was a fairly straightforward process. We're going to do the same in this video, only this time with an executable application installer. An executable application is not directly supported with Intune. Before we upload the application, we have to convert it to an Intune package. The Intune package has a .intunewin extension. Microsoft provides a tool that will convert an executable package to a .intunewin format. Link to that tool is below. The tool compresses the files and subfolders from a directory into a single package. Some applications may include multiple files required for the install. When we run the tool, we specify a source directory, the directory that contains the installer and all the supporting files. Then we specify the installer executable. We also provide an output directory. It's important that the source directory only contains the installation files. We only want to add the files needed to install the application. There's a limit of 8 gigabytes for the final package size. Once we convert the file, we can upload it to Intune. We need more information for this process than we did with the MSI package. We start by giving it the name, description, privacy and information URL, and other app information. Then we supply the program information. This is the command Intune runs to install the application. It includes any switches we want to add for the installation, the silent install switch, for example. It also includes the uninstall command. The uninstall command is required to upload the package. I find it helpful to verify the install and uninstall commands on a standalone Windows client. That way we can verify the commands before we add the package to Intune. Next, we provide system requirements. This includes minimum OS version, available disk space, memory, number and speed of CPU, and other requirements. After that, we add detection rules. This is how Intune determines if the application is installed. We can use file, folder, or registry paths for the detection rule. Then we have the option to set app dependencies. These are the applications that must be installed before the application we're adding is installed. After that, we have the supersede option. We can supersede an existing application. Finally, we can assign the application as required, available, or uninstall. The example coming up uses the 7zip.exe installer package. Link to that is also below. Let's log into the portal and get started. Coming up, we'll add an application that installs with an executable to Intune. 7zip for this example. But an EXE is not listed as a supported installer type. We need to first convert the package into a .intunewin file. We'll use the Win32 Content Prep Tool available from Microsoft to convert the package from a .exe to a .intunewin file. I'll leave a link to the tool below. Let's start by looking at the folder structure for this example. We have a 7zip folder, and inside that, there's the 7zip executable. That's the source file. We have the Content Prep Tool downloaded and extracted to a Microsoft Win32 Content Prep Tool folder. There's also an empty folder called 7zip Intune. This is the destination for the Intune installer. We don't want to combine folders. We might end up with more content in the final Intune package than what's intended. Let's go to the command prompt next to create the package. From the command prompt, navigate to the Content Prep Tool directory. Next, we need to run the command to convert the .exe installer. The command runs the intunewin app utility, passing in the directory of the installer, and then we specify the installer application, the 7zip executable for this example, and then we specify an output directory. This command will include all files and folders in the source directory in the final intunewin package. We'll run the command. It looks like it completed successfully. If we go back to the output directory, there's our Intune installer file. Let's add that to Intune next. Here we are in the Intune portal. Let's add an application. We go to Apps, All Apps, and add. Set the type to Windows Win32 app under Other. We'll select that option. We'll select the app package and browse to the Intune Win package we just created. There it is. And OK. Now we have to add some information. We have to add a publisher. We'll use 7-zip for this application. Update the rest as needed and go to Next. Here we have some install options. We need an install command and an uninstall command. This information may be available from the application documentation, or you may need to find it with some testing. For this version of 7-zip, we'll use the silent install command. The name of the executable followed by the /s. If you're not sure about the commands, run the commands on a test desktop first to verify they work. It's easier to troubleshoot these steps interactively than troubleshooting a failed Intune install. Next, we need the uninstall command. Again, this will be in the documentation. We'll use the uninstall utility that comes with the 7-zip application. We'll leave the settings to allow uninstall and install the application on the system, not just the user. Let's leave the rest and go to Next. Here we can specify requirements. For the operating architecture, we'll set it as 64-bit. Let's set the minimum version of Windows to Windows 10 20H2. And this is kind of arbitrary. You can use whatever's right for your environment. We can set other hardware environment options as well. And there's an option to add scripts and registry settings if needed. We'll go to Next. We need to provide Intune with a way to detect if the application has already been installed. For this example, set it to manually configure detection rules. We'll add a rule. Set the type to File. We'll check to see if the 7-zip application file exists on the computer. Here again, it's helpful to have a test computer to verify the location of these files. We'll select File. The default 7-zip install location is C program file 7-zip, and the application we're looking for is 7zfm.exe. We have several options to detect the file. We'll select if it exists, but we could choose date created, modified, or size. We don't need to associate this with 32-bit apps. We'll leave that set to no. Click OK. Go next to dependencies. We don't have any dependencies for this example, but we could specify dependency application if required. Go next to supersedence. Here we could specify an application that this one will replace. Let's go to assignments. We can make this application required, available for enrolled devices, or uninstall. Let's make it available for our MDM users with enrolled devices. So we'll add a group. We'll add the MDM users. Select. Next to Review and Create. And Create. It'll take a minute to upload. That finished. Now that we uploaded the file, let's log into a client and install the application. Here we are in the client. Let's open the company portal. It shows 7-zip under recently published apps. If you don't see that, go to Settings and sync to make sure that the Intune client is up to date. Now if we go to Apps, there's 7-zip. Let's click on that and install. And remember, we made this app available, not required. And we get a message that it's installing. And it's installed. Now if we go into the Start menu, we have 7-zip, and that's working. Let's go back to the Intune portal next. Here we are back at the portal. Let's go to Apps, and we'll go to 7-zip. Here it shows the application has one install. And you should know that this did take a couple minutes to show up. I also did a manual sync from the company portal on the client. Changes in Intune aren't always immediate. That is how we convert an executable installer to Intune format, add the application to Intune, and make it available to the client. That is how to add an EXE application to Intune and make it available to users. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.